Yeah, much better. Canva pop out. It's 3 o'clock. I don't know if anyone's joined yet. Add design notes, present audience window. Okay, I guess. Oh no. Share this tab. Whoops. Okay, we'll get started. Hard. Okay. You know what? We'll just share this screen and then I'll increase it a little bit. Okay, welcome everyone. If you are joining me via Facebook or school, welcome to this live. I apologize because they're kind of all over the place currently because I am trying to just find a schedule that works for me and that works for everyone as far as doing these lives. I mainly want to do them in my school community and not on Facebook because I feel like Facebook is so disorganized. My group and my announcements get lost in the shuffle. On Facebook, there's so many of you guys. You guys are in like 500 groups or 200 groups. And so whenever my group shows up with announcements and stuff, is just who knows when, right? Or who knows when that's going to happen or what. So that's why I decided to try and move everybody to school. Right now, I put it $7 because we did hit 100 members. So it's still it is affordable actually for everything that you get on there. What I'm doing here is a presentation, and this presentation will turn into a lesson that I upload into my school community. And if you're already in the school community, you'll know that there are 20 plus lessons in there that go over everything you need to know while you're on medications. So today, since we don't have any questions, I think I'm just going to move forward in this portion. Let me see if anyone's joined. Yeah, no one's participating. So this replay is going to be available within school, and I will let keep this replay up on my Facebook group for 24 hours. But if you guys want to catch this replay plus get a copy of the slides, because I always like to get a copy of slides for notes and just for me to reference, everything is going to be in the school community. So let's get started, right? We're going to talk about managing fatigue while on medications and some strategies that we can use and that I've used and that I've had others use when getting on medications and why this happens. Let me move the slide. Okay. So most of what's happening when you are fatigued on medications, most of the time, the big culprit is you're not consuming enough calories. So let's say you first start medication, your appetite is greatly suppressed. I've seen it all over, and this has happened to me as well, where they take the shot or they increase their dose, and they're like, I can't eat it another bite. If I eat 2 bites, I feel nauseous. I just can't eat. But surprise, surprise, what happens? Your blood sugar dips, there's fatigue, brain fog, you have mood swings, your metabolism is going to slow down. And if you're working out, if you can even work out, you could barely recover. So I would say if I were to address the number one cause of being tired while on medications, that's under fueling. So what can you do to bust through this, right? You can First of all, I wanted to say that I don't want you guys to be afraid to eat more because I see this often. Like when you have been on a dose for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, you start getting some appetite back, and a lot of people get scared and they said, "Oh no, I'm starting to feel hungry again. It's time for me to increase my dose." And I'll tell you right now, that is not always the answer. With these medications, you have to find that there is a happy medium between appetite suppression and being hungry enough to get enough calories in your body for you to just move day to day, to have energy to get you to work out and do those strength training sessions. This is the one thing I want you to understand is you can still be in a caloric deficit, meaning your body you can caloric deficit and you can still lose weight. So in the beginning, you're like, "Oh, my appetite's so suppressed. I could barely eat anything." It's not for me, it's not a win because we need food to fuel our body and we need enough food to fuel our body. So, one of the strategies that I have for you is I want you guys to track your calories and your protein for at least 3 to 5 days and see how much you're actually eating. For most people, they eat between 500 to 1,000 calories daily. And I'll tell you right now, unless you are a 5-year-old child, that is not going to be enough for you for your day to day. I go over, your total daily energy expenditure, the calories that you burn on a daily basis on a different lesson. But for this lesson, for the most part, most of us are under eating, and that's why we're fatigued. So, how can we combat this? And if you're saying, if I eat, another bite of chicken, another bite of rice, whatever it is, you get nauseous. So, how can we combat this? One way to combat this is to just drink your calories. And I've said this a lot of times in my groups is I make high calorie smoothies on those days when I don't have an appetite. And usually it's the days where I didn't work out, or no, not didn't work out, when I don't have, yeah, when I didn't work out or when I was increasing my dose. Right now, I don't have that because I'm maintaining, but when I increase my dose, when I have appetite. So drink your calories when you can. That's just the way it is. Make a conscious effort to get to your actual deficit calories and stop under eating, because then it's just going to cause this vicious cycle of being tired, not having enough energy to move around, not having enough energy to work out. So have those high calorie protein shakes. And what are they, right? So 1 or 2 scoops of protein powder, peanut butter, chia seeds, Fairlife milk, or any type of milk if you're lactose intolerant. What else can you put in? You can put spinach, berries for added fiber. Remember, fiber is important, you guys. We have to be going every day, if not every other day, because this can also cause plateaus. And I don't want to go off on a tangent, but this is what happens. So make sure that you are properly fueling, because if you are not, you are always going to be tired and you're not going to have the energy to not only do your walks and work out, but also your body. If you're constantly under eating, eventually your body is going to plateau. So that's one reason. Number 2 reason is your body is adjusting to these medications. Let me just check and see if there's anyone on live. Oh, no one's on live. Okay. So initial fatigue is completely normal. I don't know how to get these. Initial fatigue is completely normal when starting medications. It's just your body adjusting to metabolic changes that are happening in your body, especially if you went from, let's say, eating 3,000 calories a day and all of a sudden you're eating 1,000 calories a day. Your body is kind of going to go into shock and say, "What's going on? We normally have 3,000 calories to work with, and now we're only getting 1,000 calories." So your body is going to adjust. Energy dips in the first few weeks, especially when you start medications or when you're getting on a new higher dose, is pretty common. It's just your body adjusting to slowed gastric emptying, because that's what GLP-1s and GIPs do. It slows your gastric emptying, just hormonal changes going on within your body, and reduced glucose spikes. So this is these medications, you have to remember, were originally developed for diabetics, right? And so what do we want to prevent with diabetics? And that's an increase in glucose spikes or increase in insulin. And these medications are designed to somewhat suppress that, because remember, diabetics, they have higher insulin in their blood, high blood glucose levels. So these medications are suppressing that a bit. So that's going to naturally make you tired. But over time, again, your body will adjust, especially if you bring some exercise in there. But this is not going to mean that you're going to be exhausted forever. I was exhausted when I first got on medications at first. And about after 6 to 8 weeks, I would say, and making a conscious effort of eating my calories, I was able to adjust, and I got my energy back, right? And one of the things that can help with this is I want you guys to just monitor your progress. No, like if it's the notes app on your phone, if it's in an actual journal, I want you to just keep a track of your daily energy levels. I want you to note patterns in fatigue and then times when you feel energized. I want you guys to analyze your changes over several weeks to evaluate your progress. There are so many things that go into having energy levels. It's day to day. If you're a woman, it's because of your menstrual phase or because of hormone, not hormonal, menopause or things like that. But I want you to keep a daily journal and keep track of your energy levels, because I'll tell you this too. When you keep track on a daily basis of what you eat, you'll find that certain foods you eat give you a lot more energy. So those days or those times, women, I still see it on here. Women want to always eat low carb. So if you eat low carb consistently, your body, and plus you're eating very low calories, your body is not going to have energy. Carbs, carbs are not bad for you. Carbs are very beneficial in so many ways because it gives you energy to get through your day, and it helps with digestion with protein. And if you eat the right amount of carbs, you can have it in your diet. Not right amount, the right kind of carbs, you can incorporate it into your diet. So that's the second strategy is I want you guys to track your symptoms daily. Next, this is also a strategy that you can use for when you have days when you have lower appetite versus higher appetite, because this can help with energy levels. So it's called calorie cycling. So some days, so typically the first, I would say for me, the first 3 days of injection day, your appetite is really, really low. And as the medication works through your system, and then as you get closer to that day 7, when it's time for your shot, your appetite may be a little bit higher. And I encourage you to use this to your advantage, because if you are not consistent, if you're knowledgeable enough in tracking calories and you trust yourself to get enough calories, you can actually incorporate calorie cycling into your diet. So how does this work? Let me see. I'm sorry. I have my notes. So how does this work? So on lower hunger days, so let's say your first 2 days of shots, right? I want you guys can eat not very little, but to your close to your deficit calories. So 1200, 1300, 1400 calories. And let's say your calorie deficit or what you've calculated is 1700 calories. I want you to at least average that for the week. So how would this look like is the first 2 or 3 days, 1200, 1300, 1400 calories. And then the rest of the week, when you get closer to shot date, try to get closer to 1700, 1800 calories. I forgot what I said the calorie deficit was, but try to get closer to your deficit calories on those days, because use those hunger cues closer to shot day to your advantage. And it's okay for you to increase those calories. Don't be afraid to increase those calories, because it will actually benefit your body. Another tip is you can use calorie cycling. This is a little more advanced, and I can go over this, but for the days that you work out. So let's say you work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you do strength training session for 45 minutes. You just have those be your higher calorie days. You're going to be naturally hungrier anyway because you worked out those days. So use those days to have higher calorie days. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays can be your lower calorie days, as well as the weekends. If you don't work out, if you're not active on the weekends, you can make those your lower calorie days. In the end, when you're looking at it from a 7 to 14-day perspective, it all comes down to your average calories for the week. So it evens out. I've done this before too when I've tried to cut fat, just depending on my appetite levels. And also during my menstrual cycle, I'm hungrier the week before my period. So I strategically use this to just eat more food. And eating more food, I went over this during plateaus, revs up your metabolism. So so strategy number 4 is you can build energy throughout the day. I someone in the Facebook group, I just talked to someone about this. Let me just make sure my mic was on. And she told me that she doesn't have enough energy to get a workout in. Most days she's laying in bed and she can't even get herself to go and exercise. And I asked her, well, when you go for those 10-minute walks, do you feel tired or more energized? And she said, I always feel more energized after those 10-minute walks or after I work out. And so this is what I always tell a lot of my clients and a lot of people that I talk to. The last thing, right, that you want to do when you're feeling tired is go and work out. And this is a strategy, a mental strategy that I use with myself and I tell people to do. Just go in and work out for 10 minutes or give yourself 5 minutes, start stretching, start walking, start some sort of movement. And if after 5 or 10 minutes you still have very low energy and you're just not up for it, then give yourself permission to just forget about the day and you'll just start over tomorrow and try to work out tomorrow. So that's how you can build energy throughout the day. You can also, the little spurts of exercise is better than nothing, right? If you're working and you get your 10-15 minute breaks, use it to walk around the block if weather permits. Or if you're at home like me and you prefer walking on a treadmill, whenever you see an opportunity, just hop on the treadmill, do a 5 or 10 minute walk. All those little things will add up and will help give you energy throughout the day. Surprisingly, movement will give you more energy. Let's see right here. Oh, and this is the one that I want to start doing is first thing in the morning, try to get outside, even if there's no sun. Morning sun, 20 ounces of water and protein first thing in the morning is going to give you energy before you even have your coffee or your just energy drink of choice. Those three things: get outside, hydrate, 20 ounces of water first thing before you have any coffee, and start your day with a high protein meal. And those things will help get you energy throughout the day. Other tips is, again, find some way to move early in the day. Do a quick yoga flow for 10 minutes when you get up. Step outside and just walk around the block for real quick. Or I blanked out. Yeah, the morning sun that I talked about. Start your day with water, and even if you feel up for it, I do recommend electrolytes in your water, and then 15 to 20 grams of protein within an hour of waking. And make sure, and I didn't put the strategies in here, but I should have, but make sure to get adequate sleep. That is, and I will do a completely different lesson on sleep and recovery and why it's so important for a weight loss journey. So also I have on here on the slide, drink water consistently throughout the day. You guys all know this: to prevent fatigue, preferably 80 ounces to 100 ounces of water. You want to include hydrating foods, fruits and vegetables, and don't just say you drank water, but actually monitor it. Get a 40-ounce water bottle. Everyone has them these days, a 30-ounce water bottle, and track exactly how much water you're getting in throughout the day. You'd be surprised to know that many people are underhydrating. People always say, oh, I get 80 ounces or 100 ounces, but it's just a guess. But find a way to track your water intake, because not only is it going to be good for energy while we're on medications, but it will also help keep us regular. And I know if you're like me, you don't want to be going to the bathroom 20 times a day, but unfortunately, that's part of it. Okay, let me check and see if there's anybody on live. Nope, nobody's here yet. Perfect. So we'll just keep going. Oh, are we okay. I want you guys to also, part of my GLP-1 community is just the whole mindset aspect of weight loss. And I realized that without the proper mindset, it is going to not be sustainable results, because not only are we changing our bodies on the outside of how we look, but we also need to change our mindset. So I incorporated this into here. So if you have low energy days, don't beat yourself up for it. It's completely normal. Recovery is essential. It's part of losing weight, it's part of weightlifting, and it's just good for overall well-being, because if you found that you've recovered adequately, performance as far as weightlifting and other things that you do will be better. You don't need to be hard on yourself and push hard every day. For example, a lot of women, I see them get hard on themselves. I didn't do my 45-minute cycling class today, or I didn't get a strength training session. It's okay to do that. It's okay to give yourself grace. It's okay to give yourself rest days. I'll be 100% honest. I still beat myself up for days that I don't work out when I was supposed to. I have to learn more to just reframe it and let my body rest and listen to my body a lot more. For example, today, I didn't get very good sleep last night, so I know that I am going to sleep right at 9 p.m. today. I did get a workout in, so yeah, and I did a full work day, so I'm going to be very tired, but it's okay. Low energy does not mean failure. It just means your body needs care. Again, I really want you guys to be in tune with your body and listen to what it needs. Knowing when to rest and when to push yourself is going to be crucial for long-term success. Speaking of tracking water, so here, see, I have a mason jar and it has like the ounces on the side. So this appears 24 ounces. So if I'm at home, I will drink this. If I am out and about, I have a 40-ounce water bottle. So some strategies that you can do for low energy days if you still want to move your body. You want to focus on mindset work, journaling. You can do a light walk or some yoga movements. You can, but make sure you eat a nourishing, easy to digest meals. And again, you want to just journal, review your goals, review how far you've come. I put that on here. Oh, where's my mouse? Okay. So here, I want you guys to track your energy patterns. Again, keep a journal. You should be keeping a journal anyway throughout your journey so that you can refer back to it 5 months from now and realize how far you've come if you've hit a plateau. I always encourage that with everyone that I speak with. Keep a fatigue journal, allows you to monitor daily variations in your energy levels, and it's going to help you identify potential triggers or patterns contributing to fatigue over time. So one example of this is, I know some people get this, is if they eat a higher carb meal at lunchtime, they're going to have that 2 p.m. afternoon slump. So avoid that by just having more high protein lunch, limiting the carbs at lunch, and then spreading your carbs out throughout your breakfast, snacks, and dinner. And then also, women will often feel lower energy during their luteal phase. So this is the week before your period. Again, listen to your body. If you can't get a full workout in, there's no issues with dialing back on your workouts or just doing a gentler form of workouts the week before your cycle. And your appetite's going to change too. So you're going to be hungrier during your luteal phase, and so use this to your advantage. Don't feel guilty. If you have been lacking in appetite while you're on your GLP-1 journey, then use that to your advantage. And when you're hungrier, go ahead and fuel your body and eat more food. Trust me, your body will thank you. And you can also sync your workouts and your food around your cycle. So how I do this applies to me because during my luteal phase, which just happened, I realized before my period and like a little during my period, I will do a deload week. So just lighter weights, easier weights, and then I will fuel my body however I need to. If that means going up to my maintenance calories, I will do that, and I will not feel guilty for it because I know 3 weeks out of that, yeah, 3 weeks out of that month, I will hit it and right on point. Okay. So those are just some ways to manage fatigue. I initially did the number one underlying cause of fatigue is the undereating aspect of it. So tackle this first, get more food in your body by having those high calorie, high protein shakes. Make sure you're getting enough and make sure you're in those calorie deficits. So, well, thank you guys for joining my live stream. Hopefully you learned something here and you take away something from it. And again, this replay will be available on Facebook for 24 hours before I take it down. And then it's going to be available in my school community indefinitely. That's where I upload all my lives and my courses. I'll see you next time.